USAID is the single most dangerous power organization on the planet. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's get right into it. A gentleman by the name of Mike Benz is an expert on this subject, and Benny Johnson had him on his show, and he did a little illustration. We're going to watch a little video where that Benny's people put together. I figured, why redo it? He did a good job. Credit to Benny Johnson. But anyway, I'm going to tell you what is more powerful than money on this planet. And I've said this for years, and I knew I was right. And this just confirms it. Let's watch this video together. It illustrates what USAID is.
What is USAID? When people hear the name USAID, they focus on aid. They focus on thinking like it's humanitarian work. But aid is not actually in the name of USAID. USAID stands for the United States Agency for International Development, not aid. It's not a charity. And international development is simply capacity building. It is local and regional capacity building done across the whole world, i.e. internationally. The primal id in USAID, international development, is about capacity building of assets that can be used by either the Pentagon, the State Department, or the CIA for their own activities.
Did you get that? This is basically them stacking money. It's an organization for them to stack money to mold and shape countries, governments, topple governments, whatever. Let's keep going.
So if you're the Secretary of State and you were asked by the National Security Council or the president to do something in a different country, overthrow their government, stop the passage of a bill.
See, it says provoke a rent-a-mob to storm a government building and frame it as an insurrection. Announce another country's elections were illegitimate and declare our own puppet candidate the winner. Coup their government on behalf of a major corporation. Assassinate their leader. Use all independent banking system to launder CIA drug money. Help push through censorship through the legislature. It is the most corrupt, most vile organization. When I was growing up, I thought the CIA was the good guys. Our government was the good guys. The FBI was the good guys. None of that could be farther from the truth. We've been lied to and fooled for years. Let's keep going.
In a foreign country's legislature. How would you do that? And the first thing that I said is you would look at the assets that already exist in the country. Do we need new assets in addition to the ones that we currently have, or are the existing assets, can they achieve this simply by giving them enough money, giving them enough resources, giving them enough training, giving them enough support? One of the main ways that capacity building would be financed would be through USAID.
Look at these. Look what they use. They use unions, think tanks, NGOs, non-governmental organizations, student groups, musicians, the CNNs of the world. I mean, it's all the playbook. We've watched it play out.
USAID would say that it's doing something, funding a hospital system, funding universities, funding civil society organizations, funding media institutions, funding independent media in the region. Sorry, there's something in my eye. Independent media in the region on USAID payroll. And those institutions, those assets would then be bigger and more powerful and more capable more capable of serving the State Department's goal, aka advancing U.S. national interests. USAID has a bigger budget than the State Department, over $50 billion. It is a bigger budget than the CIA. The entire intelligence community only has about 72 billion. So that's the CIA plus the 16 others. And USAID has a bigger budget than the CIA and is almost the size of the entire intelligence community combined. That is how important USAID is to American statecraft. It is an intelligence community, a State Department, and a Pentagon assistance organization rolled into one. I just copied this from the USAID website. USAID carries out U.S. foreign policy, advances U.S. national interests by promoting broad-scale human progress. At the same time, it expands stable, free societies, creates markets and trade partners for the United States, and fosters goodwill abroad. The operative phrases here are carries out U.S. foreign policy. This is not charity work. This is not aid. This is cynical, self-serving purposes. And what is it seeking to do? Free societies, open societies. Why does USAID want other countries to be open societies? Because That's how you get the influence in. If a country is a closed society, they're closed off from USAID influence. We cannot capacity build our assets there. Closed societies box USAID out. China is a closed society. That is why we have not been able to topple the government of China, despite having tried for 100 years now almost. We have not been able to topple Putin from Russia. Why? Because Russia is a closed society. Like China, they kicked USAID out. It is not an open society. And so the USAID can't just take over their entire media ecosystem by funding 100 different media propaganda outlets in the region to sway hearts and minds. And remember, that's what this is. It's hearts and minds and cash. That's what soft power is. They call it hearts and minds work, but it's cash that does the moving of those hearts and minds, especially of the leaders of the movements.
Okay. So there it is. That's my point. I hope you enjoyed that video. I like the way Benny put that together, or his crew put that together. Saved me a lot of time. The point is, the one thing more powerful than money in our world is power over people's hearts and minds. That I have said for years. You got to figure, you wonder why anything is ever going on. Just follow the money. But what they do is they go even beyond money to people's hearts and their minds, and they fund propaganda in different countries to topple governments, just to sway people's minds. They get in their minds and try to get their hearts behind it, because that is the one thing more powerful than money. I mean, eventually, if you're trying to take over a country and they're resisting you, money means nothing to them. Okay? And so you can't even get in there and throw your money around to all your propaganda outlets, whether it's, Beyonce or CNN, to spew your lies, or the stream of madness coming out of our institutes of higher education it's insane. So they're funding all of that. And the bigger part of this is that we have been funding them to go after people like this outfit funded and is behind going after Rudy Giuliani, going after Donald Trump. And our tax money, they use our money to go after our own guy. That's how twisted this whole scenario is. This is the most evil, manipulative organization on the planet. We've got big power problems like BlackRock and all these other sick and twisted outfits. But this one, we're funding ourselves to destroy ourselves. And nobody ever looked into it. The rhinos and the congressmen, they just let that. Nobody mess with USAID. Nobody ever looked into it. Now that Doge and Elon Musk and Donald Trump are looking into this, they are going to fight like hell, because they control a lot of shit. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for this video. I just wanted to make this video real quick to help people understand what USAID is. It's for international development. It's not an aid group. They're not helping poor little kids with flies all over their faces, man. It's not what it's about. So get that through your head. I'm glad you guys tuned in. I've got some things in the works. I know you saw the ICE TV promo trailer, or whatever you want to call it, that I did. So I've got a channel set up for it. I haven't done any videos for it. I'm waiting for a lot more ICE raid material to come out, and hopefully I'm going to get that thing up and rolling. Let me know down in the comments if you're interested in the ICE TV channel that I'm working on. Anyway, guys, until next time, do me a favor, be aware of your surroundings at all times, because it's just going to get crazier before it gets better. Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you share the video. Make sure that you smash that like button. Till next time, it's the Angry American saying peace. Peace out.
I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.